Hi, I'm Brooke Anderson. I'm in charge of the displays and archives here at the Palm Springs Air Museum. We're working on a large program right now of really redoing our static displays in all three of our hangars in order to better point out the chronology of World War II in the Pacific, in the European theaters, and also the whole story of strategic bombing. Right now we're standing in the Pacific hangar where we've completed portions of our Pearl Harbor display, which talk about the road to war, then take us to December 6th, 1941, the status of the leadership of both the Japanese and the U.S. militaries. Then we have a brand new display that talks about the status, the readiness of the United States on 12/6/41. We then move to a very detailed and moving display of the actual bombing of Pearl Harbor, and we're now working over here on putting together the first major responses, which would be the Doolittle raid. And we're in the process of building a flight deck of a Hornet on which there will be 16 B-25s. As we go around the hangar, you're going to see a historical chronology of the war in the Pacific Theater, ending up finally with the signing of the treaty on the USS Missouri. As well, we've added new displays along the south wall which talk about the weapons of World War II, the uniforms of World War II, and a stunning new display of 197 models of the planes of World War II. So don't miss this. It's good now and it can only get better. Thanks. Continuing our display saga, we're in the European hangar right now, which is going to be ultimately redone to cover the chronology of the European theater of operations. It'll begin over in this corner with the great contribution of women in World War II, which will be a special display by itself. Then we'll continue around the walls, starting with the Blitzkrieg and winding up with the U.S.-Soviet link-up in Torgau in late April of 1945, which was sort of the emotional end of World War II, as the treaty was actually signed May 7th, about 2 weeks later, and the official day was May 8th. Beyond that will be the B-17 hangar, and let's take you back there and give you an idea of what we're going to do in that particular area. One of the very special programs here at the Palm Springs Air Museum is our Veterans Living History interview program. These are video interviews with the veterans of World War II and other conflicts as well. It's taken care of in the library, and we have over 500 such interviews in the can to date. What you see over here, this particular Quonset, known as the Living History Quonset, actually has segments of some of those interviews, so you can actually hear bona fide war stories from the veterans who were there and did it. It's a very moving and extremely well put together display, and we really recommend people take a little bit of time to hear it, so to speak, straight from the horse's mouth. Okay. Look at this. This is our B-17, the Flying Fortress. What a plane, what a plane. But we're going to go further in this particular hangar, which is known as the B-17 hangar right now, but will be converted into the Strategic Bomber hangar. At that point in time, once we're finished, we'll be able to tell the entire story of strategic and tactical bombing in World War II. So stay tuned for this one. It's going to be a goodie.
My name is Frank Kastner, the librarian here at the Air Museum. The library at the museum opened 2 years after the Air Museum itself opened. We finished the second floor up here in 1998, and it all began with donations from our docents who came in as early volunteers. Basically everything in the museum has been donated. We have Every Life magazine from the first issue in November 1936 through 1950. We have almost 7,000 volumes in the library for circulation. We have all of the manuals for all of our warbirds downstairs, the erection and maintenance manuals, flight manuals, training manuals, many training manuals of other areas from World War II. And probably the largest single donation we got was about a year and a half ago, when a gentleman by the name of Charles Booth from Ashland, Oregon, called us one day and had 800 plus books to donate to us from the CBI and the Pacific Theater. He was a ground crewman in the CBI in World War II from 1942 to 44, and had amassed this collection by traveling throughout that area as an oil geologist after the war. and made contact with a number of the pilots who stayed over there and worked for the Flying Tiger Airlines and the Chinese Airlines, and he got their stories as well as collected his own number of books on the CBI and the Pacific Theater. He donated the entire collection to us, and along with a number of notes and all of the correspondence regarding that collection. If we could go back and take a look at it, I'll just give you an example of. He prepared notebooks of all of the titles that he collected by photocopying the title page and table of contents from each book and arranged them in alphabetical order by title. When I began to catalog the collection of books, I would open a book and find envelopes and letters and correspondence back and forth between the author and Charlie. So I collected all of those letters and put them in with the information on the titles. And it's wonderful history, not only about the war and his acquisition of the collection, but about all of these individuals who were in the CBI during World War II. We also have a 33-volume collection of the entire operations of the Luftwaffe from 1935 to 1945. These are photocopies of the microfilm library taken from the British Museum. They were originally removed from Berlin right at the end of the war by the British troops that arrived in Berlin before the Russians. This is the area also where we have our flight manuals. We house most of our flight manuals in notebooks or in their original bindings. This, for example, is the original flight manual for the B-25C and D, the maintenance manual, and all of the maintenance operations that you need to go through to keep it airworthy. We also have the erection and maintenance manuals for the B-17, the P-38, the T-29, and like I say, all of the other warbirds. This is probably one of the most valuable aspects of our entire collection. Aside from that, we have books on all aspects of the war and warfare and the military throughout the world, as well as over 900 books on individual aircraft and over 4,000 books specifically on aspects of World War II, the theaters of operation, individual battles, and individual memoirs of soldiers from World War II.
Yes, my name is Bob Andrade. I'm the historian here at Palm Springs Air Museum and also assistant librarian. And we'd like to show you something we are very, very proud of, and that is our video collection. We'll start out with these right here. As you notice, they're pink. These are from the shows that you have seen, like Hogan's Heroes, Baba Black Sheep, and very extensive, as you can see. And these right here is Hollywood. They're the classics. Ben-Hur, Gone with the Wind, and just the great classics here. And a lot of them are silent movies, and it really takes you back. These are the great movies. And as you can see, we've got lots of them. And this area right here is World War II, because we have a Casablanca, and of course we have our main stars that played during World War II, John Wayne and Humphrey Bogart in their roles in the military and our battles. Very, very, I consider a lot of these as rare movies, okay? Then we have here, these are the documentaries, like you see on Discovery Channel and History Channel. And not only that, we keep updating different things that happen. We have different events here that has to do with history, and they're put into there. And they are the Dewey Decimal System. And we do have a computer that will tell you where all of them are and the ones we have. Now, this right here is very unique. We are involved in the Library of Congress history, veterans history, and what we try to do is we take a veteran. It doesn't have to be a veteran, but somebody that has done something significant in our military or during the war or something like that, and we first we give them a form to fill out. It tells us a little bit about them. Just gives us enough to ask different questions, and so we know a little bit about them. And then we set them over here. There is a room over here with an American flag and our camera, and then we interview them. And when we interview them, we start out with the family. Where were you born? Who was your family? And how did you make it through? Usually, a lot of them had been through the Depression, so we like to know a little bit about that. And it builds up to how they went in the military and what they did. And some of these are very unique. These are some of the big heroes, so we're very proud of that. And they are available to any member. Can take them out. We like to get them back within 1 week. Also, too, we have if they want to see something, want to see a movie, and they have the time, they can take it. And we have a big screen here, and we show it right here while they're here. And the ones on top here, if you notice the different colors here, because we have selected several different tapes or discs, like this right here. This would be Destination Tokyo. It is not Hollywood. It is not documentary. These are Doolittle's films of the bombing of Japan in 1942. And we have a nice one right here is the nurses at Bataan and Corregidor. What a story. And they usually range from about maybe 15 minutes to a half an hour. And they're short enough where the people can sit down and watch them and still have a lot of other time for other things.